And welcome to Swinton. 2 points to 0 for Great Britain, but New Zealand has just missed one penalty, which would have put them level, but it is a penalty now for Great Britain, and Bill Holliday, the Cumbrian, to kick. And it's got it well up and into touch. New Zealand won the toss, so they're playing with what wind there is. You can see the flag there. And most of the spectators are huddled up into the stand. It's been raining quite heavily since the start of the game. It appears to be softened up a little bit as the ground, but it's in very good condition. Tommy Smales, I'll now introduce you to some of the players. There is Tommy Smales and Mervyn Hicks, a Welshman. New Zealand, needless to say, on our right, if you didn't know. Great Britain in their normal white with a red and blue V. Tommy Smales, Frank Myler. Number 2 is Wigglesworth, who came in last night instead of Burgess, the Barrow wing 3/4. Smales. And at the right moment of the scrum, I'll give you the teams, but at the moment, whilst play is going on, which is Holliday, Bill Holliday, and Roberts, and it's a long one, and those 3 policemen don't want it because they're not playing, so it's a scrum down. Gives me the opportunity of New Zealand on our right. Their team is Tate, full back, 3/4 Reedy, Bailey, Kennedy, Christian, half-back Schultz and Snowden, and the forwards Emery, O'Neill, Edwards, Hammond, Deacon, and Matson and Snowden putting the ball in. Schultz, stand of half. There's quite a lot of ducking and dodging. His opposite him is Phil Kitchen, and Thomas Smale seems to have hurt his back. Matson. Oh, it's a bad one, and Wigglesworth. Jeff Wigglesworth in as the substitute from Leeds. And somebody shouting out to back him up. So it's Great Britain attacking, if I occasionally say, and you'll know what I mean, won't you? Quarter of an hour gone. Senior, the new cap from Huddersfield on the left wing, number 5. 2 points to 0 for Great Britain. Hicks, Mervyn Hicks. And so far, both teams have really been testing each other's strength, and the game is just about to be opened up. Oh, he does open them up, but Smales drops it, a hard pass, and Sam Edwards nearly lost his fingers, but he's got the ball, which is more important to him. Sam Edwards, one of the Maoris in the team. They call him Sam Bass amongst the boys. They've all got some favourite nicknames. Colin O'Neill, the hooker, there. Edwards again. He'll try and go down the middle. Won't go very far, but at least he'll take the strength out of the Great Britain team, he thinks. Deacon. There are 4 players with sweatbands on. I'll tell you about them later in the game. Mungo Emery, the veteran of the team, also a Maori. Edwards, Matson. Matson is a particularly good loose forward, not terribly big. This is the biggest lad in the team. Now to Snowden inside to Schultz, who ducks and dodges. What's this fellow? Paul Schultz. Get away, said Mr. Clay. Get away. Patson. And the dummy half, number 9, who for the most part, it'll be a penalty, I think, for pulling the ball from the play the ball. Number 13, Matson, penalty to New Zealand. And what's the matter with Emery? Oh, he's only pulling his stockings up. Full back to kicker is Tate. That is with the ball. Naturally, he's known as Spud Tate. He came in as a reserve after Mann couldn't make the trip because of an injury, but at least he gets it into touch. Once or twice on this New Zealand tour, the kicker has not found touch. So last night they had a special warning that the kicker must make sure, even if he loses distance. The referee is Eric Clay, known as the Sergeant Major, wearing a red jersey. There he is, and he'll stand no nonsense. And you'll probably hear his remark. Hey, don't get in there, Eric. 16 stone. Shows Kennedy. That is now the moment for opening up for both teams. So we've got rid of all the how's your father business at the front, and we can now get some football. Reedy, Speedy Reedy, leading try scorer in New Zealand Test football. And New Zealand are now beginning to feel a little happier. Hammond, he's the best New Zealand forward according to the judges who select each match. Their best player, he's got the biggest award. Hammond, and there's Big Sam. So 20 yards out with New Zealand in possession, losing 2 points to nil, a goal by Holiday. Deacon. The strength of New Zealand, he wants his jersey. The match hasn't finished yet. The swap jerseys at the end, not before or during. This is the danger point of New Zealand. They're always better at this point, and there's Snowden. He's not so far out. The thing's warming. But this is where they'll use the strength. Oh, he's got an interception. No, and Hammond claimed it. Hammond is the danger man for New Zealand, 2 points to nil. And now New Zealand within striking distance. Roger Bailey. Roger Bailey was the best centre three-quarter on the last tour, 1961. Came here, leading try scorer on that tour. He's got it back in, he'll have it intercepted. O'Neill, the hooker. You see, what New Zealand try to do all the time is come back in, and the strength of the forwards taking them through. Whether it's always the right thing to do. Schultz will try to go down the middle. Kennedy, the vice-captain of the team from the West Coast. Graham Kennedy into Matson. He's dropped it, but he's over, but it's no good. It's no try. Obviously, he dropped to the ball, but it's in an attacking position for New Zealand. Well, these are the New Zealand players, the reserves, and very tense they are too. Now they get in the ball, the two hookers, Camille from Widnes for Great Britain, and O'Neill from Wellington, New Zealand, for the Kiwis. The Kiwis, incidentally, are the rugby league players. The All Blacks are the rugby union. The Waratahs are from Australia, and so are the Kangaroos, and the Lions from Swinton, but also from Great Britain. And with 20 minutes gone, the score 2 points to Great Britain. Nil on out for New Zealand. Well, we get a bit of American type rugby there. They tackling the man not in possession. Snowden, Matson. And I'm deliberately giving you lots of names at this moment so you can establish them in some way or another. There's Edwards, and he plays it back to number 9. Number 11 is Hammond with his sweatband on. Save his cauliflower ears. A wide one to Schultz. And New Zealand have kept possession far longer than they usually do. Deacon. He's from Waikato. They have an overlap if they can break the break. But they're still trying to go down the middle in the Swinton crowd, which is obviously very much for Great Britain if they can get something to cheer about, or having to be content with where they want him. New Zealand in black and white, the Kiwis. Emery, Deacon. And I'll give you the tacklers now on the Great Britain side so I can introduce you to them. Charlie Reynoldsson made the tackle. Holiday, number 11, from Cumberland. And the kick and the change. If he bounces right, there's a possibility, but he's tried to trap it in, but he didn't. So it's a change. Anyway, Great Britain team. Gowers full-back, playing on his home ground. Wrigglesworth, Miles, Shelton and Senior, the three-quarters. The half-backs, young Phil Kitchen from Kells with Thomas Smales. The forwards, Gardner, Kemmel, Roberts, Holiday, Hicks and Reynoldsson. And time just right for Smales, number 7, the captain and coach, to put the ball in. Second time in. Third time he'll probably give a penalty if he doesn't get it in, although Roberts doesn't know whether he can get in or he cannot. Well, there's the scrum. There's the hole it's supposed to go in. And New Zealand have got it. Schultz to Kennedy inside. Going slashing down the middle. The New Zealand team really like to go down the middle. Can't go without his legs. Emery, Snowden, Deacon, and this half break that they're trying to make will either pay dividends eventually, or a pass will be dropped, and then Great Britain should come into their own. But at the moment, it's a chance, and which way do you want him? They still got the ball. 5 yards out for the big boy to dive in. He lost the ball. Who's got it? Still lost. Still lost. And Great Britain have got it. For the first time for a long time. The crowd cheering. Oh, and he's dropped it. Well, Shelton was busy watching the Kiwi come in, and descended on his nut at the same time as the ball descended on his hand, but Great Britain have still got it. Two points to nil. Great Britain in the white, 2 points. New Zealand in the black, nothing. Roberts. And now the crowd are beginning to make their lungs have a little bit of exercise. Great Britain forever, it says. Well, the other side, and he's lost the ball. Gowers, the local boy favourite, lost the ball, and as soon as Gowers lost the ball, he's lost it. There's a lot of excuses. Kitchen, the glamour stand-off from Whitehaven, and he's missed it. It's a knock-on. Well, at least it was a brave effort by Phil Kitchen, the boy from Cowes, which is on the top of the hill from Whitehaven, where I've been often. And in fact, he's got quite a few supporters come down from Cumberland to cheer him on. He had a little fun party just before the match. People who wanted to tell him they were rooting for him. There he is. 25 minutes gone. Shelton, the man who scored a try in the cup final for Hunslet, just on half-time in the cup final. Now, 2 points to nil for Great Britain, and it's a long one. Thomas Males going on his own. Thomas Males is going on his own into Frank Myler, and O'Neill's got the ball. Number 2, Wrigglesworth. It's got to be a long one. Hammond. He'll have to go on his own. It's still going. Well, he's a pretty good forward. Number 11, Hammond. You pick out the best player of the match when it's over. See if these judges, which today are the rugby league writers, see if they pick the right one. You pick your man. One for each side. The winner gets £10. I don't ask you to give him anything. Kennedy. I don't know if you're spectators. You're not getting it. The player that gets it. Read it. Bailey, Roger Bailey. Hammond, well done. Kennedy. Kennedy, a coaster, comes from that lovely part of New Zealand on the west coast, Greymouth, where they breed good, tough footballers. Frank Myler, number 3, Great Britain. Sam Edwards. Billy Boy, Snowden, they call him. Big Dick Deacon. And Butch Schultz. And the halfway line. The strength of the New Zealand team on tour so far has been A, in the forwards, and B, in the last 20 minutes of the game, when they feel the opposition towering. And whilst everybody's looking, away goes Holiday from a loose ball, and still going. Try and get him into touch, and the flag's up. The rain has ceased a little. One or two spectators coming out in the front, but by and large they're huddled up on the stand. We're at Station Road, Swinton, which Eric Clay is having a word with Mr. Bailey. Roger Bailey, over on his second tour, also been here with the World Cup, and how can I get it in there, said Bill Snow. But he comes out to Kitchen. Quite a number of these Great Britain boys, of course, wanting to impress the selectors, because next year it's Australia tour, Reynoldston, Scotland. So we've got a lot of good footballers from the border countries. Charlie Reynoldston plays with Halifax. We've got people like Andy Murdison, Willie Welsh, and Bill Holliday from Cumberland, which isn't far from the border country. Tommy Smales, the captain coach. Roberts, who used to play here, the biggest and possibly toughest forward on the Great Britain side. And we've still only got 2 points away. Funny way to pass. Holliday. Holliday. Inside to Smales. Smales is 25 line. Now something's got to break soon. Myler. Frank Myler. A very good goal for Frank Myler. Roberts. Oh, nice dummy. Nice dummy by Mervyn Hicks. St Helens, Wales. Camille, the hooker. Faithful witness. Gardner, a Cumberland. Smales got buried. Roberts. Hicks. And he doesn't want it. He's in a generous mood. Sam Edwards to clear the line. Got his pass in. 2 points to nil. Great Britain 2. Deacon. Oh, good push. Good push. Hey. There's exercising. Hammond. 25 minutes gone. This is the boy, but he'll not be fast enough to run. There's no speed man with him, Ken Goward. And this is the local boy, so the crowd will make a bit more noise, no doubt. Oh, Dr. Bailey is in with a chance, but still Holliday saved nicely. Shelton. Senior, well taken. Fingertip, well taken. Senior's probably the fastest man in the Great Britain side. First international cap, but a good opening run. And it's Roberts. Roberts still going. It's a long one. Wrigglesworth, who's missed it. Fletcher Christian after it. Myler's got it. Just 10 minutes to go to half-time with... Well, he's worried. He's one of the Britain reserves, one that was going to come in enough. So it's Great Britain 2 points, New Zealand 0. Great Britain on the right, making their brave bid by Sheldon. New Zealand on our left after having the best of the first 5 minutes of the second half, but they're losing the ball at the most inopportune time as far as they're concerned. Sam Edwards. So the 5 points can easily be wiped out if New Zealand can find this breach. And so far, the defences have been better than the method of attack. Paul Schultz, stand of half, playing the ball. And it's a long one to Deacon. Deacon has got to go and he's got to kick. Oh, now can he take it? If he takes it, can he run? Can Matson run? Can he run? Can he get it in? Can he run? He's got it to O'Neill. Well, this is the moment that New Zealand must strike back. They're only 5 points down, and Britain's got in a tangle. Oh, he should have let the ball go. But New Zealand have got a penalty, but they needed a try at that moment. And the referee, Mr. Clay, is having a word with Shelton. He's had quite a few words with quite a few players. But this kick, which had been taken by Tate, in actual fact, should have been 5 points. But before he takes it, we've got an injury on the Great Britain side. And see whereabouts he's hurt. He's saying how he got it, but it's just... it'll come up tomorrow morning, but it'll be all right. is running off, so it means he's in a hurry to get back on again. So the kick will be taken, and a very easy kick. Charlie Reynoldson's getting quick attention, and Tate. Now this is an important goal, but it should have been a try for New Zealand to have got level. Matson should have let the ball go. The ball does go in the middle of the post, so it's 5 points to Great Britain, 2 for New Zealand, and the first time the New Zealand boys have had a chance to cheer. There he is, Tate. Incidentally, New Zealand rather are playing in numbers 1 to 13. So far on tour, they've all had their own particular numbers, and they're now playing 1 to 13 in normal rugby league style, with the fullback 1 and the loose forward 13. Charlie, and there's Thomas with his stockings down. He doesn't like playing with his stockings up. Still, I suppose better have his stockings down than his pants, but he doesn't like having them up. I offered him some elastic, but no, he prefers to have them down. Now, New Zealand have opened this half far better than they did in the first half. Probably a little bit nervous, but the crowd has not worried them. Nothing should worry them now, and we should see the best of them. This boy's had a very good game. I put him amongst my best forwards. Sam Edwards. Is Reynolds back yet? No. So it's Great Britain with 12 players. Great Britain 12. Well, there's Reynolds, number 13, with the chairman of the team, Mr. Spavin, and it looks as if he's getting ready to go back on again. So that's good news for Great Britain. 5 points to 2, and New Zealand have got to strike if they can, with Great Britain only 12 players. But Aveman is gone, and Reynoldsson is back on. There he is. Very good. So we're back to full strength, 13 aside. Five points to 2, Great Britain, and we're playing almost 9 minutes. So with 31 minutes to go, incidentally, Great Britain are on £25 a man for a win. Deacon in possession. £25 a man, but the New Zealanders are really amateurs. They don't get anything extra for winning or losing, but they're very keen to win. And there goes Snowden, the captain of the team. Emery, Schultz. This boy with his sweatband to keep his ears down. He had a cauliflower ear. Oh, well done, as long as somebody doesn't intercept it. Kennedy, school teacher from the coast. Bill Snowden again. Schultz. Schultz does duck and dodge. He had a beautiful cauliflower ear, he tells me, which now we're seeing the best of New Zealand. Snowden, incidentally, owns the champion boxer dog of New Zealand, the great knock on by Matson, and this is where New Zealand lose opportunities by knocking on, losing possession of very vital moments. 10 minutes gone. Great Britain 5, New Zealand 2. There's the scrum. It's 3, 2, 1. And there's Mr. Clay. Now where's the ball? Somebody has it, we hope. Didn't rhyme matter. It's a long one to Wrigglesworth. Jeff Wigglesworth, who was on his farm yesterday afternoon in York, when he was told he was going to play for Great Britain because Bill Burgess had got the flu. And he's lost the ball, Bill Holiday. Deacon, the other way down. Waikato, lovely place, isn't it? Sounding name. Schultz. He's quite a yachtsman, is Schultz, so the wet ground will suit him. There's Sam Boy. And in goes, there goes Sam Boy. He smiles away. Used to all this sort of stuff, but the referee's having a word with the touch judge, Mr. Heath, who is having a word with Bill Holiday. We'll have a look at this one. Now then, just cut this out. We're not having this sort of stuff, said Mr. Clay. It had really a very quiet afternoon, as Eric, Sergeant Major, weighs 16 stone. He was actually a warrant officer. Fullback Tate, Spud to kick. And it's a good one. But it's only as good as getting the ball from the scrum. And the two hookers, Camille for Great Britain and O'Neill. I asked what O'Neill's nickname was. The ball got some particular name, and they said we called him Sleepyhead. I said, why? I said, well, he spends all his time lying wanting to sleep, but I don't think he'll be sleeping in that pack. If he is, Ken Roberts will waken him up, or somebody will. Hammond. Well, I don't know whether you're picking the best man out that you think, but certainly Edwards, I've not seen him play better. Snowden's had a good game too. Matson, and they're beginning to get the weight of the forwards going in now. 20 yards out. 5 points to 2, only 3 points in it, and Munger nearly dropped it. Munger Emery, 31 years of age, the veteran, 5 youngsters. Deacon. Oh, this is looking dangerous for Great Britain unless they can get possession. They're looking much more confident in New Zealand. Woof, won't hurt Emery's head. He goes pick killing for a hoppy. Snowden, captain. Bailey. Tate. Oh, well taken. Bailey, but we're not seeing the greatest of Bailey on this tour. He's got a flash in somewhere. There goes Mr. Edwards, and there goes Schultz, Paul Schultz. 2 Schultz, not playing today, the hooker, but Paul. And there's the coach, Snowy Telford, looking very anxious indeed. He wants another 3 points to be level. And it's a penalty for Great Britain to release that rather heavy batter by New Zealand, and it will be interesting to see if it tells its tale later in the game. Later in the game means we've been playing 10-12 minutes, so that's time for New Zealand. Now, we're not seeing anything of the far winger, Fletcher Christian, who incidentally is a direct descendant of Fletcher Christensen, mutiny of the Bounty fame. He's the fastest man in the team. He's not had a chance to run yet. Thomas Mayles has the ball. Kitchen is a long one to Ken Gowers, which gives I was going to say give them the overlap. Instead he nearly gave Gowers a thick ear. Get him by the legs. Going on without those. Roberts, an ex-favourite at Swinton. Somebody says Ronicky going. Rendlesham, who got the first try, the only try of the match. Charlie Rendlesham from Jedburgh, played with the Scottish schools. Hicks from Wales. And now the crowd are wanting Great Britain to get another try. Holiday, Bill Holiday. 3 tests are played. This is the first, the best of 3. Take the Ashes. Oh, Thomas Mayles, a nice one inside. And he's dropped it. Now if he can get... No, where is Christian? I know he's from the Pitcairn Island, but where is he on the field? Not there, because he wanted a speedy man there. Quarter of an hour gone. And only 3 points difference in this match. And the New Zealand wingers, Reedy and Christian, have not had a chance to show their faces as much as in the Great Britain wingers, and they've not had such an awful lot. Great Britain on the right in white, 5 points, 1 goal by Holiday, 1 try by Rendlesham. And somebody's out, and it is Ken Roberts. And I think they... Where are they? They move out of the way. Thomas Mayles, thank you. Oh, see, I don't want him, he says. Hey, Skip. Ken Roberts, who comes from these parts, but in actual fact plays for Halifax. and he's just going to get his breath back with one stocking down and one stocking up. We'll have to do a lightning garters for these fellows. They usually use laces, boot laces. They can knot them better. Summit with the... No, it wasn't a dummy half. Colin O'Neill. Oh, it must be a penalty. No, he's given a... What's he given? Yeah, giving a scrum down. I thought it was a penalty. Don't know. They must have both been offending for him to give a penalty. For him to give a scrum, rather, not a penalty. No substitutes have come on, incidentally. 2 substitutes allowed in the first half only. Great Britain ball. Kitchen. Solid. Wrigglesworth out. Christian, this is the fellow that can run, but he's kicked the ball into touch, so he's no good running. Well, the score, Great Britain 5, New Zealand 2, and we've been playing exactly 16 and a half minutes. So the next try could be the one that's going to decide this match. So far, the teams appear to be a little bit frightened of each other, but it's a penalty. And I would imagine with the wind, and there is a slight breeze, that Holiday will have a shot at goal, providing he can get a ball to kick with. And if he can't, he'll have to go through the most. There he is, Bill Holiday, who plays with Hull Kingston Rovers. No, he's not going to kick a goal. But he's made sure of getting a position. And it's just inside the 25 line, the New Zealand 25 line, with Mr. Batterby's Barrow flag up in the air. And Tommy Smales stocking loose down. He has some stocking with the roll down his ankles. There he is. He cuts a beautiful figure, doesn't he? Now, good footballer. There's a lot of controversy about Alec Murphy being left out of the Great Britain side. He was reserved. Smales and Kitchen. There's Kitchen. There's Roberts. There's Shelton, who has been possibly the most dangerous looking centre three-quarter for Great Britain. Gardner from Wigan, ex-Cumberland. Somebody said to me before the match, don't forget to mention the Cumbrians. Who can miss them? Reynoldsson, the Scot. Mervyn Hicks. It's a penalty. Oh, aye. Good. Well, they can use their head for all sorts of things, you know. It's a penalty against New Zealand, and they don't like it, New Zealand. Holiday does. He's got an easy position to kick a goal to make it 7-2, but it's as easy as that. He'd probably landed that bedroom window if he put some bolt into it. 20 minutes gone, almost. You can't have it much easier, although I've known great kickers, even the great Jim Sullivan, the greatest of all, once hit the post from this position, but not often. He usually went in the middle. And the maestro was kicking. Left leg kicker. Jim was a right leg. 20 minutes gone. 2 points on the scoreboard to make Great Britain 7 and New Zealand 2. It might at this moment give me the opportunity. This match is will be seen in New Zealand, and a lot of friends of mine out there will be keen to see this. So far, the New Zealand have had a pretty good tour, and great forwards like Charlie McBride and Newton from the coast, and Pat Smith and Davison and McGregor from Auckland will no doubt be glad to see this ground where they have performed so nobly in the past, and it's now the modern Kiwis, and it's a knock-on. 7 points to 2. Great Britain 7, New Zealand 2. Well, we're getting more rain, which is going to slow the pace up. Forced to do. You can see there Roger Bailey's skid marks. Reedy. Ryan Reedy, champion New Zealand try scorer in test matches. Manga Emery. Get away, said Eric Faye. Get away. Stick his stomach at him. A long one. This is the danger part for New Zealand. They throw them away. Yes, was he obstructed? The crowd say yes, referee Clay says no. Matson. Sorry, fell that. Oh dear. Well, you can see what's happening with the turf. The rain is coming. Quite light, but quite effective, and it will prevent an awful lot of scoring or fast running. Roll him over. We've got to play it that way. Oh, hey. And the referee Eric Clay is having a word with Gardner. What is happening, of course, is that the Great Britain players are coming up pretty sharply. Whether they're in offside position or not is for referee Clay to decide. But they're coming up and they're sort of catching the New Zealand lads as they catch the ball and knocking them off the stride, knocking the ball out of the hand, and that was the penalty for that. But as I say, these penalties are only good if you're going to get the ball. If you're in possession, then you kick into touch and you lose it, well, then it's not an awful lot of advantage. In fact, to the contrary. But he hasn't got it. Bill Snowden's had a good game. Scrum half, got the ball. He's going to have a kick. He's going to do a move that Great Britain tried early on. If it bounces the wrong way, it was a pretty good move. At least they're trying to change the pattern. But that's the thing they've got to do now with this greasy turf, very good condition, this Swinton ground. Only 5 points different. And 24 minutes gone, second half. New Zealand badly want to take this test. They want to keep the tour open to the last test, third test. Incidentally, we shall be covering on BBC Grandstand all the 3 tests. 7-2 Great Britain in front. Emery, Deacon. You can see how the ground is slowing the pace up of the forwards, skidding around. Kemmel. Great Britain just looking a little bit ragged at the moment. Having to do an awful lot of tackling, of course, takes effect. You've got 15 stone running in your midriff and elbow going in your buttocks or anywhere about it, it can be effective. Matson. Bailey, come on. Oh dear, Bailey's throwing his passes instead of running. I can see Roger Bailey run. He's the butcher boy. Got the ball now. So we've 25 minutes, a quarter of an hour to go, only 5 points in it. Now what we're going to see? Let's get this warmed up. Snowden, Deacon. Bill Snow, put the kick over, Bill. Emery is the man who will be in charge of the hanging. They're having a special Maori feast tomorrow at Ilkley. I love it when a player just misses an interception and the crowd says, ooh. I suppose it's better than when you get clocked. O'Neill, the hooker, been collecting all the rugby league books he can, this fellow Colin O'Neill, the hooker. Emery. 7 points to 2. How is the break going to come, and is it going to come? And the ball loose again. Christiansen, the winger, man who's had more letters from New Zealand than anybody else on this tour. Call him Chrissy for short, but now calling him Posty. This was a chance for him. There's a chance for the ball loose. Must be New Zealand. Deacon. Woof. Ah, the ground's soft. It's all right. Oh, Ron. Roger Bailey dropped the ball. Well, they're doing enough. They're doing enough progressive play towards the line, but New Zealand are just not finishing. And they're not without the ball, although this scrum, Tommy Smales putting it in. Interesting to see who he goes to. He goes to handing out, and it's a penalty to Great Britain for the hooker handing out. He's trying to hide his hand down his pants, but it actually was handing out from the scrum. Somebody once said to me that they thought the hooker should have a different coloured jersey, and the special cheer is because Ken Gowers is taking the kick, and Gowers is the Swinton player, and the match is at Swinton, so we can be sure of a cheer when Ken Gowers gets the ball. The scrum's got to be taken where the ball goes into touch, or where the flag it goes up, which doesn't always coincide, but it's opposite the flag, and it's just inside the I thought somebody was going to take a bolt of a boot there, just inside the New Zealand half, and the score is 7 points to 2, and 12 minutes gone. 12 minutes to go, 28 minutes gone, and the ball getting very slippery to hold. And Bill Snowden in a hurry to get on with it. He realises now this is going to be the last 10 minutes of greatness, or will they go out by very low margin of 5 points? On the last tour, New Zealand won the first test, Great Britain won the second two, or the next two, the second and the third. Great Britain in front, 7 points to 2, and there's going to be a lot of dropped passes, a lot of loose balls, and a lot of mistakes. 10 minutes to go, or 11 to be exact. Those of you who are keeping count, have you decided who you're going to pick as the best player yet? Well, I should think that New Zealand have used their front row forwards, particularly Edwards and Emery, more than at any time on this tour. But their wingers haven't had the chance to have a great lot of running. And this is the sort of thing that's going to happen. The greasy turf and Great Britain know this. They're quite content to let New Zealand keep the ball, providing they're not going to go out of that position. Donny Hammond, captain on the last tour, Great Britain 1961, good forward. The man likely to score. Deacon, at least, it's worth a go, it's worth a go, it's worth a go. At least it was some different approach. They're probably unlucky not to get it. Frank Myler, not seen him for a while. So we'll have a look at him now, shall we? There he is, Frank Myler. Tommy Smales. And he's lost the ball. Kick, oh, he's kicked it into the scorebox. Far too long, far too strong, should have crossed it. That's the only way to do now, is to get, if New Zealand are going to play this game now for the last 10 minutes, they want to put the ball up, belt it, trust the luck somebody's going to make a mistake. That's the one chance they've got of scoring now. Great Britain's tackling is sound, and they're experienced enough to keep New Zealand in a set position. That's, well, it was better than trying to get it with his hands and knock it on. And you see it's put Great Britain in New Zealand half, and whilst they're in this half, they cannot score. There you go. 9 minutes to go. Great Britain 7-2. Is there going to be any difference of this score? One try only. And it's a penalty for pulling the ball out of his hand. Tate to kick. And it's a good one. Those are the floodlight stanchions you can see in the back there, where some of the BBC Two floodlit games are going to be put through. And Swinton's one of the ground where we shall be televising from, although the first match is from St Helens. This is Reynoldsson from Scotland. Both begin with S anyway. Eight minutes now. We've got to see a lot out of Great Britain that we haven't yet seen. Ken Roberts, as they said, they've been doing the major portion of tackling of Great Britain. Can they do anything now to get the ball? Holiday. They may have taken something out of them. Thomas Males. He sent him off. He sent Colin O'Neill off for a trip. Well, there he is, and a very worried man. I don't know. I won't pass an opinion whether he was or he wasn't deliberate, but tripping in rugby league is considered. There he is, Colin O'Neill, hard lines to finish the game so early. Eric Clay had no hesitation, and some minutes to go. Well, that would... Who's going to hook? Let's have a look who's going to hook for... Matson's going to hook. There's the front three bonny looking lads, those. Emery, Matson and Edwards. Well, that was rather a sensational moment, because the game has not been rough. There's been nothing dirty, but Great Britain should get the ball now without a regular hooker. Kemmel, if Kemmel doesn't get the ball now, then it's going to look a bit bad. Although Snowden is putting the ball in, which sometimes has an effect. Males has got it. It'll be interesting to see whether before the end of the game that New Zealand do get the ball again. 7-2. Hicks. And he's lost the ball. I meant from a scrum, I didn't mean from a drop pass. It was always obvious we might drop a pass. Drop passes don't count. Now who's going to play underneath? Offside. 6 minutes to play. Some points to 2. Well, if Great Britain don't get some points in this last 6 minutes with 13 against 12, the selectors are going to be studying very deeply. Well, there's the man who was sent off. He really should go to the dressing room, but he's no doubt being allowed to stay there. There he is. Colin O'Neill, hooker, collector of programmes, bench spender at the moment. Well, he's going to bounce right. Well taken, Wrigglesworth. Well taken, Jeff Wrigglesworth. Former come winger. Leads Myler. Kitchen, dummy half. Hicks. Five minutes to go, 5 points in it. And there are so many interesting possibilities about whether Britain can score again with 30 men against the New Zealand 12. Or the New Zealand can score, whether the referee was going to give a knock-on but didn't. Holiday. Oh, nicely Shelton. Shelton was looking for his winger, Senior, and Senior and Reedy were having a little debate together. And it wasn't in Senior's benefit either. A scrum down. The referee has given it from what they call the dummy half, and the dummy half must pass the ball, which actually he did. And the crowd are giving Mr. Clay the slow hand clap. Well, I've got to get the hand warm somehow. 4 minutes to go, 7 points to 2. Has New Zealand they've got the ball? Oh, no, they haven't. Doesn't count. Eric Clay, the referee, is getting a little bit of the noise effects from the crowd. I don't suppose he hears them. He told me the other day that he never hears them. Aye, aye. Aye, aye. Watch this one. Aye, aye. They don't realise they've only 4 minutes to play. Oh. Shape for things to come. Mr. Second Test, which will be at Bradford. You better make a date for this. Christian. He's lost the ball. And the ball's in touch, and it's a scrum down. Now we've got 3 minutes. And there was very little injury time. There was the one when Reynoldsson came off, but he was virtually off quickly. So there's not an awful lot of injury time, but we'll keep you in touch right bang to the last second now as far as our timekeeping is concerned, although Eric Clay is responsible. Phil Kitchen from Cumberland works down the 8th pit in Whitehaven. I wonder what he's going to tell his pals on Monday. I think he's going to tell them he's got winning money, £25, interception. What we hold. And no doubt, Great Britain will be satisfied to stick to the end. 2 minutes gone now then. New Zealand in possession. Their last chance, 2 minutes, 120 seconds to make this first test a draw. Sam Edwards, good forward, but he can't run 60 yards on his own. And he must have lost the ball. So it's scrum down. Time's running out. The signal's running out for New Zealand. Snowden in again in a hurry. Billy Boy realises it's very little time for him to do anything. Shelton, number 4, probably the most dangerous of the Great Britain backs. Kitchen in his first international. 1 minute to go. Referee Eric Clay looking at one of his 2 watches. He asked 2, you know. He's a company secretary. Trying to get the ball. Be careful they don't give a penalty away. 1 try from England, from Great Britain before they closed. That had to say Great Britain then because I was a Welshman. And I don't want my Valley friends reminding me what a lot of great footballers we've had from Wales, which we have. Whoa. Might as well let him get up quickly to play the ball. Camille to Smales, and Smales has dropped it. He knocked it the other way back. If you're wondering why he didn't give a knock on, the ball was knocked back. Holiday going in, a try near the end. We're up to 40 minutes. We say New Zealand have got the ball. So according to our reckoning, it's time, and it's a drop out from under the post. Drop out from under the post. Score, Great Britain 7 points. 1 try scored by Charlie Reynoldsson, the Scot. 2 goals to New Zealand. 1 goal. Gaz, the local boy, he would delight the home crowd if he could go right through and score. Probably delight me too, and you. The test judges are giving referee Clay the signal. The time is up. Holiday trying to get it in. Trying to get the pass to a colleague, and it's Smales. Oh, somebody had a little boxing match there. Well, they wanted to just let them know they'd been playing. We're giving you full value with the been playing 41 minutes. Is he going to score? Smale. And the referee is not going to call time yet. He's getting signals from his touches that it is time, and that makes a difference. Play's still going on. He can say it's injury time. And New Zealand have got the ball, and Eric Clay's got the message from his touch judge. Montgomery, can he go the length of the field? Can anybody? The referee has looked at his watch again, and I reckon any second he will. It's going to give a scrum. He's going to have the scrum. So we'll see the last scrum within 2 minutes of injury time. In Australia, they have official time. He's looked at his second watch now, Eric, so he's taken an estimate, and it's going to be a finish. Now there goes the whistle for time, with Great Britain winning the first Rugby League test by 7 points to New Zealand 2 points.